Just move them out of the way.
Well, look, 7 months on from lifting that trophy, how does it feel to be back?
Yeah, really good. Obviously sad to miss out on the bits of the journey that have gone in between, but ready to pick up where we left off, yeah.
How fit are you? Are you 100% fit and ready?
Yeah. I had a small setback just after Christmas, and now just been really careful about it, and hopefully, yeah, a sign of things to come.
During your time recovering, did you have plenty of time to reflect back on just how special the summer was, and does it give you that extra motivation to lift another trophy with this team?
Yeah, it's one thing. After 22, I knew it'd done something, like fueled a fire, I suppose, to go and win again. To have gone and done that, I feel like this time took a lot out of all of us. So yeah, I didn't want to be injured, but I suppose it provided me time physically, mentally to like reset, but also to process it properly. It's quite a hard thing for an athlete. People have spoken about it before, but coming off the high of a tournament. But yeah, I want to remember everything, and I want it to stay with me forever. So it's all banked away now, and use it when we need it.
And 2 qualifying games coming up that you'll be favourites for.
Yeah.
Are they games you should be winning?
I think there's an expectation from England fans, I suppose everybody across the world, that we win every game that we play. So I think we're used to that responsibility, I suppose, and that expectation. But I think these, it's tricky. It's World Cup qualification. I think we also take for granted us being in tournaments now, and it's not easy to get there. So we'll be on our best, I hope, and prepare just the same as any other fixtures, yeah.
And do you have an eye on that game coming up against Spain in April and building some good momentum for that?
Yeah, for sure. You start the year, you want to be building momentum. I suppose a qualifying campaign is the most similar to like a club schedule in terms of the longevity of it, and that obviously is down the line. We know that, but it's very important for us to start well and to just focus on this camp. And I think especially after, you start the new year, there's loads going on at club football. Come in, get together, and keep the focus here, and we'll do April when we get there.
Thanks, Leah.
Thank
All
you.
the best.
Thanks.
Go back to Emma.
Hi, Leah.
Hi.
Hi, Leah. Nice to see you. You said it's obviously really difficult when you're out injured and you're missing those moments. Can you just talk us through maybe what you're like as a player when you're not playing, and I suppose psychologically what that's like for you?
My physios sat me down at the start of that rehab and said, I'm going to need you to be a little more patient than you usually are, which is fair enough, related to the injury that I had. But I think I'm blessed. I play at home, basically, so I do have a life outside of football that's very easy for me to slip back into and act as a distraction. But I think I don't know if it's because of the success I had with club and country like over the summer, but I was really motivated. Sometimes when you get injured, you kind of want to remove yourself. It's easier for you that way because the most important thing is your recovery. But this time I stayed like quite present. I felt like I had the capacity to, so I'm glad I did, because it's a lot easier to come back into the fold and be ready and at the same level as your teammates.
I suppose in that context then, the fact that you've got like a week's training to build up to the first game this time rather than potentially playing 3 games in this window.
Yeah.
Do you prefer that, or would you personally have liked to have had 3 games and maybe played an extra game?
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't think anybody goes anywhere for 2 weeks unless they're like on holiday, really. So it's slightly different to what anybody's used to, but I suppose in this scenario for me it's perfect. It gives me time to reintegrate, catch up, I suppose, on what's been going on. And it like I say, it'd be different for us. We've always got such little time together. We're always fighting for time and trying to find time in the schedule. I think the FA is so good at like prioritising our welfare as players as well, and Serena's obviously very passionate about that, and speaks up. So I think using this time to our advantage is like a bit of a luxury, but also for us as players, yeah. I mean, I don't know the last time the girls would have had like a 10-day break between their fixtures. So it's hopefully it'll be good for us.
You mentioned welfare there, and obviously there's been a lot of the Euro 2025 team that has struggled at the start of the season with their fitness, with injuries. What do you think that's down to? And I suppose, was there a way that could have been avoided in the wider women's football world?
We'll never know for sure. I think scheduling, I don't think people argue against it for fun. I think there's reasons behind it, and I think if you listen to the players group, of course we all want to play games all the time, the best quality of games, the hardest games, of course we do. But the more successful you are, and this team has been very successful, if you couple that with club schedules of success there as well, the more successful you are, the less rest you have, and the higher risk of injuries you are. Like the facts are there with the players. So I just think it's an accumulation, and when we look ahead, the players, sure, we'd all love to just turn up and play football, but we do use our voice, and we do try and get involved in the conversations with the hierarchy so that they at least have our perspective. Whether it's listened to is beyond my control.
Thanks, Leah. All the best.
Thank you.
Hey, Leah.
Hi.
Obviously, you're going to be playing Ukraine and Turkey because they're not able to play in their home stadium. Do situations like this, games like this, kind of put things into a bit of perspective?
I think we'd be silly not to. Well, firstly, if any of us, it's incomprehensible to us. That's what I'm trying to say, and I think that's a luxury that we're all very aware of. Of course, we've got fantastic facilities. We're looking forward to going and having a really professional week football, but I'm sure Ukraine would have loved to play us in their home country. We would have loved to play there too. It's not feasible because of war, like when you actually say that out loud. So I think, I'm looking forward to an occasion that gets to celebrate those players. I'm proud to play for my country. I can't imagine how they feel to step out in a Ukraine shirt. So I'm glad that the fixture is possible, and I'm glad that it plays. But and we've, obviously a great solution has been found. But I'm sure we'd all rather see this fixture be played in Ukraine.
Should we go over to Kit?
Hi, Leah.
Hello.
You're talking about the schedule and how, as players, you like to kind of suggest things to the hierarchy. Can you give us any specific idea of what ideas maybe you're raising to the hierarchy? What are you saying?
I mean, there's obviously not that many of us, if any of us, have a scientific background or real expertise in it other than experience. So I think what we can do is say how we feel and the toll it's taken on us. Offer up our data, like the training loads, everything, female health. I think we're quite forthcoming with giving that to people so that they can make more educated decisions for us. But it's mainly around the rest periods and trying to get all governing bodies to align, just to like I said, it always sounds like we're asking for a holiday, and that's not the case. It's just time to, I'm a professional footballer, and part of my job is also to rest, which I'm encouraged to do by my managers, by the environments that we play in. So then why is that not prioritised when we're sort of left to our own devices,
You said you can't guarantee that what you say is listened to in those conversations.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider, I suppose, taking more drastic action to ensure that your voice is heard and is listened to?
I think it's always there as a possibility. Ultimately, like I said, we all want to play football. Nobody wants any games, years, seasons to be taken away from them, tournaments especially. But I think across men's and women's football, I think the possibility for growth in the game, it just never seems to end, and the money that's on the table for everybody involved will benefit from that too. There has to be a balance, and I would never rule out further action from the players, because I think it would, if it needed to happen for people to protect themselves, I wouldn't blame anybody.
And just to be specific, and I was kind of talking around further action, would that be a strike action? Would you go that far? Or?
I think, I've not had any conversations about this right now, but I would, like I said, I would never, if a group of people doesn't feel like they're getting listened to, then history suggests that that's the only way sometimes they can be heard. So I'd never rule it or take it off the table. I just don't think that's where we are now. I think we're still in a phase where we can all collaborate and listen and educate
Thanks. And just finally, I appreciate you said you're kind of picking up where you left off
Yeah.
after winning the Euros. But does the fact that we're now looking forward to the World Cup eventually, and that's kind of the main thing left, I guess, for this team to win, does that provide almost new and fresh motivation?
I hope so. Like I said, in terms of like focus and application and being ready to be at our best in an England shirt, I think that's a consistent of this team, and proving going back to back. I think it's been shown. But yeah, a new challenge. I obviously wasn't there in Australia, but that heartbreak that the girls faced in the final, of course, this is an exciting opportunity for everybody, and we want to be there, and we don't take that we don't take qualification for granted. So yeah, everybody's head down and working hard.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll go back over next to Tara.
Hi, Leah.
Hello.
You spoke about wanting to focus on this camp in the next 2 weeks. Apart from the wins, what does that look like for you and the team?
The focus of the camp.
Yes.
I think naturally we're on like a new cycle now, and you have new players or newer players. We have to be ready for the changing world of football. So again, it's like two opponents that we've not played in a while. Seeing even teams that you play all the time can still change drastically. So just making sure, I suppose, that we're at our best. There's a lot of uncontrollables here. 2 away fixtures, away fixture, and then coming back home to Nottingham. So I think make sure that we're at our best, match the support that we're receiving with the performances, and just keep growing.
We'll go to Sonia.
Hi, Leah. Obviously, you've been injured, but there's been a lot of change in the defensive setups that England have done since the Euros. I wondered what you made of that from your perspective.
In terms of the lineups that we've had.
Yeah, and the sort of constant changes at the back, and we've seen a lot of shifting of position,
Yeah.
particularly in that left-back space.
Yeah, I think everybody that's obviously played, there's been some great results from the girls, great performances since I've been away. And I think just like the depth of the squad is, I think we say it's there, but sometimes there's like time to prove it. And I think the girls all played fantastically, represented England well in an England shirt. And I think it just proves that everybody's ready. So you have to be at your best if you want to play for England, and you have to be at level, and you're always being pushed by your teammates, which I think is a great reminder sometimes, also because football can change so quickly.
How do you do it as captain, and obviously leading that back line, if you have someone who it might be their debut or they're being played slightly out of position because of who's available?
I think you have to give confidence to the players. As teammates, regardless of being captain, we're very good at that here, I think, in terms of also playing to that person's strengths, making them as comfortable as possible. And yeah, I think that like we all trust each other. The standard at clubs is so high that everybody plays for, so it's not that big of a change. And then give somebody confidence, show them that you trust them, and I think you see the best in them.
Go next door.
Hi, Leah.
Hi.
How do you make sure everybody stays on the same wavelength, being obviously the captain? And you said that you're motivated after your injury for this World Cup. How do you make sure everybody else is on your wavelength, and you're leading the team in the right way, coming back into the fold after missing out on the last World Cup?
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Like, I haven't been here, so I think I'm catching up just as much as anybody. I think we have such a evenly dispersed sort of leadership across the team that what you hope is that you create an environment that's like, it does it itself, it breeds it. And I think we're in a quite luxurious position that I don't think anybody would struggle to commit to the vision and the dream because of what's already happened. And like, I'm inspired by my teammates, and I was there. So anybody that wasn't, anybody that's new, they've seen what's happened, and I'm sure there's anybody would say do anything to be part of this team and to be involved in the setup. Thank you.
Is that it? No more questions? Thanks very much, everyone.
Thanks, guys.